Check. Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Happy Sabbath. Happy Sabbath. We still in the book of Acts. Last week we left off. Give me a second. I believe we are only in Acts chapter 6, right? Officer Tobias, what was that last week? Chapter 6 and what? I think didn't we finish chapter 5? We didn't finish 5?
I think we're still in 5, sir.
Oh, we are? Dang.
Yep.
Damn, we still in 5? Hey, man, we got to go faster, brothers. Gonna be
Two.
All right. So if we still in 5, you say we in 36? All right, start at verse 35.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 35. And said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men.
So this is Gamaliel. Gamaliel, he was a Pharisee. Remember, Paul learned under Gamaliel. So now then they have a council. The council of Sanhedrin council. So Gamaliel is telling the Pharisees to be careful what they do to the apostles. Verse 36.
Verse 36. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody.
Theudas. Hold on a minute. Cap. Right quick. Here. Theudas again. This is a small recap. Who was Theudas? Tell them what you're reading from.
All right, I'm reading from, it's called Who's Who in the Bible, the Old Testament and the Apocrypha, the New Testament, 2 volumes in 1, by Joan Kamei and Ronald Browning.
Okay.
We're going to read Theudas.
Theudas.
See if I find this thing. All right. Here we go. Theudas. It's Greek. It means gift of God.
Uh-huh.
A Jewish fanatic with his...
He was a what?
A Jewish fanatic.
He was a Jewish fanatic.
Who, with his 400 followers, revolted against Roman authority.
So now, this brother had 400 followers. 400 followers. They went against who?
That revolted against Roman authority.
So they went against Rome. So in other words, they pick up weapon against Rome. They went against Rome. In what? Read.
In Palestine during the early years of the 1st century,
they
were ruthlessly wiped out.
You hear this? The Rome wiped them out. Go back to verse 36. This is, now we know what Gamaliel is talking about. Verse 36 again.
Acts chapter 5, verse 36. For before these days rose up Theudas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves.
And, you know, we still got this spirit in the world today. All you got to do is go to social media. We still got this spirit today. Read.
Who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught.
Brought to nothing. Verse 37.
After this man rose up Judas of Galilee.
Judas, that's another brother, Judas of Galilee. Cap. Who is Judas of Galilee? I have no idea why you closed the book. We're going to keep going in there.
We're looking for Judas of Galilee. One second. Okay. Judas of Galilee. One second. Okay, here we go. Judas of Galilee, a Galilean patriot from Gamala who raised a revolt in bitter opposition to the census or enrollment ordered by the Roman Emperor Augustus.
See, if I'm not mistaken, he was part of the zealots. Is it zealots?
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
it's at the end.
Uh-huh.
All right. Ordered by the Roman Emperor Augustus during the governorship of Quirinius in AD 6. It was on the occasion of the incorporation of Judea into the Roman province of Syria, and it was probably the first Roman provincial census by Roman methods to be held in Judea. The Galilean uprising was cruelly suppressed by the Romans. Its leader Judas.
You hear what he said? It was coolly suppressed. And now the Rome killed all of them. It's coolly suppressed by Rome. What else you got?
Its leader Judas killed, and 2,000 of his followers were crucified.
You hear that thing? These brother had 2,000 people following him. And Rome wiped all of them out.
There's more to it.
There's more to it? Read.
The momentum, however, survived underground in the form of a constant guerrilla movement whose members were known as zealots.
His members were known as what?
Zealots.
Oh, we got those people today. Here today. I saw a bunch of them in Stone Mountain a couple of months ago with guns and masks. You'll be a fool if you follow them. Go back.
Acts chapter 5 and verse 37. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee.
Gamaliel, which is a teacher of the law, which was a Pharisee, he's giving them a little history about what happened to those men. He's talking about were Israelites. Read.
In the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many obeyed him, as obeyed him, were dispersed. Verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone.
So Gamaliel is telling the leaders, if I were you, I stay away from these brothers. Leave them alone. In other words, he was putting a comparison. He's like, those are not the same men. Those men, those Israelites right here, they are different than those that were before them. If I were you, I leave them alone. Verse 38.
For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
Stop. You hear what he said? The reason the men before that then succeeded is because what they were doing was of men. But these apostles, the work they're doing is not of men, it's of Most High God. That's why he said, leave them alone. He said, if they're not of God, guess what? They're going to be perished just like the men before them. Leave them alone. In other words, he was telling them, this is not physical. This is spiritual. It's the same thing we're telling our brothers and sisters today who want to pick up weapon. This is spiritual. This is not physical. It's not time for physical yet until Christ come back. Right now, stay in the scriptures. Don't listen to no brothers talking about let's pick up weapon against Esau. Do not do it. They're going to do you the same way they do this. Rome did these brothers back then. Read.
Verse 39. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it.
That's what the scripture said. How do they say you arm too short to box with God? He said, listen, if this thing of God, you cannot stop this. It's the same thing we said today. Listen, a couple of months ago, was it a year ago? There was a lot of Negroes who wanted to destroy UIC. They're still shocked we're still here today. And we ain't going nowhere. What God built, men cannot destroy it. When God builds something, men cannot destroy. You think you can destroy it. That's what the devil told you. Because I remember brothers went to radio shows. I'm not stopped until I want to train on IUIC. Good luck. May the force be with you. Your arm is too short to box with Most High God. When you look at Revelation, when you talk about the 7 churches, yes, I said it. IUIC is one of the 7 churches. Yes, I said it. There's no man can destroy those 7 churches. Christ sent letters. Christ said, listen, fix this, fix this. Then did Christ said, oh, I'm going to send a man to destroy it? Christ said, I'm going to come and destroy it. That's what Christ said. Christ never said to the 7 churches, if you don't fix it, I'm going to raise up a wicked Negro to destroy it. He never said that. What verse you in?
Verse 39.
Read.
But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it.
If it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. If it be of God, you cannot overthrow it. There is, listen, before the Israelite, we have a lot of so-called black movement. We have the Black Panthers. They were overthrown. Give me a couple of names. You know I'm slow. Can you say that in the mic, please?
You had the UNIA, the United Negro Improvement Association. That was Marcus Garvey. Overthrown. You had Malcolm X with the Muslim movement.
Overthrown.
You had Medgar Evers movement. You had Stokely Carmichael.
Overthrown.
All of them overthrown.
All of them overthrown.
The AIM, the American Indian one. You had Geraldo. What was that? The Brown Berets. All overthrown.
Now they give Geraldo a job.
A lot of them are still in jail.
Yeah. This is Christ said the gate of hell is not going to stand this. Listen, we the Israelites, we are the last movement. Nobody's going to overthrow this. Christ said nothing's going to overthrow this. Nothing can stop this. And our forefathers, Gamaliel, know that. Listen, these men, this is of Most High. Nothing can stop this. Nothing's going to stop this truth. I don't care what any Negroes do. I don't care if you go to the enemy. I don't care what you do. Nothing can stop this. Go back.
Acts chapter 5, verse 39. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it.
Which it is of God. Read.
Lest happily ye be found even to fight against God.
You're gonna listen, you don't want to find yourself in a ring against Most High. Oh, no, you don't. You're gonna get death. That's what you're gonna get. Read.
Verse 40. And to him they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Jesus.
So even though they agree with Gamaliel about what he said, they still beat them. That's how wicked our people are. They still beat them and they tell them what?
They commanded that they would not speak in the name of Jesus.
So they beat them, they told them, hey, stop teaching. Stop teaching. Stop going in the street. Isn't that the same thing we got today, Cap? It's the same thing we got today. Because I remember, hey, there's a brother who said, we need to get together, destroy Iuic. Because why? We are the one who's pushing this word. When you look at social media, Iuic have a camp every day. We in the street every day pushing. Somewhat, what? Yes, somewhere we are pushing. He said, let's destroy. Okay, after you destroy, who's going to do the work? Who's going to do the work? Because the same Negro said, let's destroy. He ain't do nothing. He just sitting in the dolly sofa every day. He ain't do nothing. Those are the Negroes that hate the people. They don't want to see you wake up.
And when those Negroes said that, we actually began to do more works
Yeah.
after they said it. Because now many camps is holding camps 7 days a week now.
7 days a week.
So all praise to the
Nothing
Most
can stop this. If there was more than 7 days a week, yeah, we was going to do it too. Nothing going to stop this. The more you hate, the more you push us to do more. That's what you don't understand. Because we know the more you hate, that means we're in the right path. We doing the right thing. Read.
Verse 40. And to him they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Jesus, and let them go. Verse 41. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name.
So here come these men who just got beaten. They said they depart with joyfulness. They were happy as hell. They was like, damn, look at what just happened. We just got beat down for teaching the word of Christ. Hey, some of us would have run home, try to get a little gun. You put hand on me?
Hey, D, listen, some brothers and sisters, when we were facing persecution or accusations, slander and all that, and they did their Why I Joined IUIC video, they went back into the world after that. They went right back. They did a video, 2 weeks later, they back in the damn world. Facing little persecution. None of them got beat. None of them got persecuted like that. They went right back. A little slight slander, gossip, or whatever, sent them right back, shook them.
You know what's so heavy? What you say, Cap? I think we look at trial and persecution the wrong way. Yes, there's a difference between trial, which is in Sirach chapter 2, and persecution. Remember, the Apostle Paul suffered a lot of persecution. But the Apostle Paul also suffered a lot of trial. When you see stuff like that happen, it's called, what happened in IUIC years ago, it's called a trial. The scripture said every one of us going to go to trial. There's a scripture where Most High God said, sometime you have to understand, mind you on them business. These have nothing to do with you. Stay out of it. Cap, do something. I said, bruh, that was bad. Because of that, I think you should step down. He come Mordecai. Why you gotta make him step down? Mind you them business. What the hell have to do with you? You don't even know what he did. Yeah.
I now step down and go complain on social media so all of y'all can hear it and give you my version, not the true version, but my version specifically.
Now, some of you, that's your trial. And you didn't even know that was your trial. Now, imagine you've been sitting here for 5 years. You fell because of another man. Because of another man. They have nothing to do with you. That was your trial. And you fell miserably. Horribly. Now, you calling, can I come back? Hell no. Nope. Nope. Stay the hell out. Learn online. You good. Learn online. You know why you're not coming back? I can no longer trust you. And by the way, I got to say this. There's a difference when you look at Galatians chapter 6. Galatians chapter 6 is not talking about somebody who get up and leave. That's not what that's talking about. Galatians chapter 6 is talking about somebody who make a mistake, we put them out for 6 months. The scripture said, you cannot keep that brother or that sister out forever. You have to restore them. That's not talking about a Negro. The devil jumped on him. He said, listen, I hate y'all. I don't have nothing to do with y'all. And leave and go to me and speak evil. And then later on talk about, oh, I repent. Can I come back? No. No. Fellowship online. That's two different things. Because I look at Facebook, I see comment, people say, oh, well, then this scripture say you got to bring them back. No. That's not what that scripture is talking about. That's why you notice he said restore. You know the word restore mean? Restore them at the first. Because you remove them, now you got to restore them. You walk out of here, I didn't remove you. You remove yourself because of something that have nothing to do with you.
You know what's crazy? A lot of those brothers that were talking evil, they were not put out.
No.
They left on their own. So how are we going to restore you? You left. You gave up. You left your brothers on the battlefield. Now you want to get restored. No, nigga, learn online. Stay over there. Stay on that side. We going to stay on this side. You stay on that side.
Your only mistake was that you believed the devil. The devil told you to walk up out of here. And you, in your simplicity, actually believed the devil. Meanwhile, we've been teaching classes for years how Satan is going to tempt you. And you failed it horribly. So it's not found in a fault as if you made a mistake. You made a conscious choice to leave.
Now, verse 30, you're on verse 42.
42. Verse 42. And daily in
Read
the
41 again. I'm sorry. Read 41 again.
Acts chapter 5, verse 41. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name.
For his name. There was worthy to suffer shame for his name. Worthy to suffer shame for his name. That's the spirit each and every one of us have to have in this room. Especially your men. And I'm talking about on this side of the room, your brothers. Because you are the leaders in Israel. You should be happy to suffer shame for Christ's name. Happy. You should be happy. Because I just talked to brother earlier. He said, listen, family's talking about he's in a cult. Hey, you say I'm in a cult. I'm happy as hell. I'm happy to be in this cult. Because this cult changed me from a boy to a man. I'm happy as hell. If this is a cult, the cult changed me from a nigger to a god. I'm happy as hell. You call it what you want. I know one thing you cannot call me no more is a nigger. That's right. Yep, or ignorant. Exactly. So I'm happy as hell. Call me whatever you want to call it. Read.
Verse 42. And daily in the temple and in every house they cease not to teach and preach Jesus Christ.
And daily in the temple,
and in every house.
Read.
They cease not to teach and preach Jesus Christ.
You hear that thing? There was in the temple daily, and when they were in the house, they didn't cease, they didn't stop teaching. That's what he's saying. The word did not depart from their mouth. They were fellowshipping every chance they get.
You know why that's super heavy? Because in verse 41, they suffered shame. But in verse 42, they started to go harder.
They go harder. That's what we were saying earlier. This is, hey,
wow.
Cap, this is what the brothers don't understand. You guys don't understand. You know, this truth is like a tree. A tree don't stay green the whole year round. That's what you guys, when you look at a tree, remember, the root of the tree is Christ. We are the branches. So, the branches, the leaves, they don't stay green all year round. You notice, for example, right now we are about to change from summer to winter. New leaves coming out, old leaves fall off. Some of us is old leaves. There is a tree where there's certain people who take a little scissor. They go to the tree, they start clipping off the dead ones. They prune it. You know why they take out the dead ones? So the new one can have place to grow. If you keep the old one, sometime it's not some space.
Actually, D.
You know the old one is the niggers.
Hey, y'all
I'm
just,
sorry.
y'all just,
I'm sorry I used that word.
Y'all just got a deep Levi parable right there.
Yeah.
All praises.
All leaves is the niggers.
Right.
That been in that tree, Christ said, the tree's getting too heavy.
Right.
Because remember, Christ is the root. Christ said, damn, why is this tree so heavy? Too much dead weight. Christ tell the angel, let's clip out the niggers.
Let's prune them off.
Prune the niggers out. Here come the angel. Chip, 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 chip. And you see niggers falling up. Boom, 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 boom. Right. And then, the new one that's coming, right. You know now they're pushing the wood more now. Yeah. Now they have more space to work.
Yes. Hey.
More elbow room.
Hey, you know what's up?
When you have more room to work, you free. Now I can breathe. I cannot breathe too much niggers around. Right. You know niggers take a lot of air. Right. Breathing all the good white folks air. Go ahead, Cap.
Hey, you know what's so heavy about what Deacon, the analogy you gave about that? For you brothers and sisters, how many, by a show of hands, how many of y'all garden or have a garden? Okay, so Deacon mentioned the
You
process.
know, Captain Area don't have a garden, right? But he put his hand up. But go ahead, Captain Area.
I got a garden. Oh, damn, made me lose my thought. But, dang, Deke. No, okay, that was it. Yeah, the analogy Deacon gave concerning the
Captain
pruning.
Area, you was going to talk about when you have a garden, how you treat it, how you clip it.
yes.
That's what you was
okay.
going to talk about.
Got you. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but basically, Deacon gave the analogy concerning the pruning process of a tree. If you guys actually look it up, for you that garden, pruning, let's just say hypothetically a fruit tree, apples, oranges, pears, whatever. By pruning, it says, they say that the dead leaves or the dead weight or the niggas on the tree actually strip the energy of that plant.
Damn.
You're
He
supposed
go
to prune
deep.
it. You're supposed to prune it because it actually gives you a greater yield. So the fruit that the plant produces, if you compare it, if you left the unpruned leaves and figs, branches and things of that nature on there, it'll actually be bigger by you pruning it off.
So in other words, you're saying the new one becomes stronger.
They become stronger.
Damn.
And the fruit developed is greater.
Wow.
Hey, and you know what too? When those leaves, what happens to a leaf when it drops off the branch, hits the ground? It's gonna what? It's gonna shrivel up and die. Them niggas that left, they dead right now. They just ain't in the grave yet. That's what it is, man. Their spirits are dead. They're
You know
dead
what's so
spirits
funny?
Walking around. They just got a heartbeat still
Cap,
for now.
you know when a leaves drop, the leaves actually still thinking it belong to the tree. Yeah. The leaves still thinking I belong to the tree. No, you don't. No, you don't belong to the tree no more. You fall off. You're on the floor now. You're in the pavement. How the hell you belong to the tree? As a matter of fact, if there's a lot of tree around, somebody come pick up that leaf. Do you don't even know what tree, which one of these trees this leaf come off? You look at a bunch of trees like, which one you belong to? You don't know. Because the leaves thinking, yeah, I belong to one of these trees. No, you don't. You dead. You're a dry leaf. You gone. Chapter 6, verse 1.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 1. And in those days, when the number of disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews,
The Grecian against the Hebrews.
because their widows were neglected in their daily
So
ministration.
these Christians, they are Israelite, which was there was in the custom of the Greeks. That's why they call them Grecian, but they are Israelite. Read that again.
And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews,
Against the Hebrews.
because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration.
Last week we go over the qualification of a widow. Go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 6. Because he said Greeks against the Hebrews. Because I don't want you to think those Greeks they are the nations. They were Israelites.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days. So what they was doing was they were persecuting the Israelite under the Greeks. You cannot call yourself any. That's why it's going to say, keep the whole time.
Or ancient feast, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
Guess what? Brothers, never think history cannot repeat itself. Never think that. Same way they were persecuting our forefathers here in the book of Maccabees, if they said they were Jews, they were persecuted, get killed, they actually killed them. Same thing can happen again. Don't get it twisted. As a matter of fact, he's leading towards that right now. He's leading towards that. Yes, he's leading towards that. Because the so-called white men over there in Israel call themselves Jewish. Now, the minute you say you are the Jews, they say anti-Semitism, which make no sense. Yes, which make no sense. So do not think history cannot repeat itself. And it will repeat itself. The scripture told you in Matthew chapter 24. Christ warned us about that thing. Some of us going to get to in jail. Christ's name's sake. Don't think that cannot repeat again. Remember what Donald Trump said a couple of months ago? He said, do not sleep in history. History can repeat itself. Remember what he said? That's the devil talking. That's the devil talking. He know what he's saying. You know, for the typical Negro, you have no idea what he's talking about. But you got your brothers right here online that's in the truth. You should know what he's talking about. You should know what he's talking about. You got the greatest knowledge. You should know what he's talking about. Read that again.
2 Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You hear that thing? Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. It's going to come a point where we cannot profess we are the Jews. We are the real Jews. It's our really start. It's our really start. Every eyes is on us. I was looking at something the other day. One of you put it up. Oh, I think it's Bishop. This lady at church wake up and find a pastor peeing on her. In the plane? Was it in the plane? In the plane. This thing, it didn't even make the news. If it was Israelite, oh, forget it.
Hey, she said they came back, was on a flight from Vegas back to D.C., I think it was, or North Carolina. And she in the back sleeping, her family back there too. All of a sudden, the pastor, she felt some warm fluid all upon her. Gave her a damn golden shower.
How come?
But D, my point is this. His church was never
Mentioned?
named.
Nope.
He's a pastor. They even put his face in the damn article.
Yes. They didn't say what they didn't mention his follow.
They didn't mention nothing about
Nope.
what do they believe in.
Nope.
Nothing.
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 Nothing. If it was y'all, oh, forget it. Oh, he belonged to this camp. Oh, yeah, he's an Israelite. Yeah, he got French on. Yeah, he's doing this. Yeah, he's doing that. Oh, he got a criminal record. Yeah, he do that before.
Hey, and I hope y'all realize that's a part of warfare. Because like D said, if that was any of us or anything affiliated with Israel, they'll be blowing up all over the news, all over this social media site, trying to slander. They want to investigate. Let's do another documentary. But when it's the other side, it's the black Christian. It's all good in Jesus. It's all good.
You know this, Cap. These guys who been those. What is the name of those guys who pick up weapon? NFSC. You know this. The media never asks what church they belong to. The media never say, "Oh, some of them belong to Creflo Church. Some of them might go to TDJ Church." You didn't never mention what religion they are. You never notice that. You know what they're waiting for? They're waiting for something to pop. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, they are part of the Israelite." I'm telling you guys don't see the war that's about to happen. That thing is just a pot. You know how you put a pot? The pot is cooking, it's boiling, it's going up and little bit. Eventually, what it did is overflow. That's what's going on right now. You don't see the war that they're about to declare against the Israelite. That's why we tell your brothers, stay in the scriptures. The war is already here. You just don't see it yet. The war is already here, brothers. Yes. Listen, I hate to say it. Some of you are not going to survive that war. War is coming. Some of you are not going to survive it. Because you refuse to do what this said. You're not going to survive that war. And brother, we're telling you, build yourself up. Build yourself up. War is coming. War is coming. Some of you still think it's a joke.
If y'all remember Bishop Nathaniel's class on the Spanish Inquisition, the war is, many of them just want you to denounce your faith.
Yes.
So many of you are going to go back to Christianity. Many of you are going to go back to Islam, go back to whatever filth you came from, just to avoid the persecution that's going to come. So that's going to be the option. Because, what do you call it? Let's say Queen Isabella of Castile, right? She gave the Jews the option before they were expelled from Spain. Either you convert to Catholicism, or you had to be expelled or killed. There were three options, actually. But like Deacon is bringing out, don't think that those things can't repeat themselves. A lot of times we get so caught up in in the witchcraft of Esau's society, thinking that we're citizens and these things can't happen to us and we have Wi-Fi now, so therefore we're good. No, I'm gonna record this and I'm gonna get justice. Are we sleeping? How many brothers been killed and no justice? Now, when they've done painting us the hate group that they want to paint us and paint us as this and whatever they're going to paint us as, now they got justification to do what they planned on doing. Y'all don't understand how the levels that these demons won't go. And some of you, your trial has not come yet because your trial is going to be under that persecution. Are you going to forsake Christ in order to live a little bit longer in this great mystery of a cesspool? That's going to be your trial.
So it's going to be, what's Captain's saying is, you know how you on the street, you teach it. I'm talking to your brothers. Somebody's going to take a little clip of you. Monday, you're going to go to work, they're going to be like, is that you? You're going to be like, yeah, well, you're fired. Is that you in the march? Yeah. Oh, okay, you fired. What you going to do? What you going to do?
Because Deke, remember, that happened already. What
Yeah.
Deke said already has happened
Yeah.
with a brother. They saw him in one of the marches. They went back to his job, and they called him into the office, and they actually made him renounce and delete his Facebook, all his social media, saying he's an Israelite in front of them. And that's how he kept his job. Yeah, y'all think it's a joke.
Cap, hey, don't think that they're not checking to make sure that you don't reactivate it. So if they made you renounce it, they damn sure gonna make sure that you stay renounced.
And let me tell you something. Many of you, your job already knows. They're just looking for things to get leverage so that you don't come back and try to sue them. Because all they got to do is most times Google your name. And something going to pop up, especially if you in these videos, so on and so forth. So the ultimate goal is not to operate in fear because we know what God we serve. We know that we'll be justified in the day of Christ. So y'all brothers just stay strong in the Lord, man. Y'all understand that? Don't be wavering because you got to go work at Walmart now. It is what it is. Y'all understand?
Hey, brothers, for chapter 1, Acts chapter 1, another precept is 2 Maccabees chapter 4. I believe it's verse 15 to 17 to 15 and 16, I believe. Read that right quick, officer.
2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 15. Not setting by the honors of their not setting by the honors of their fathers,
That's the Israelite.
but liking the glory of the Grecians
Like
best
the
of
glory
all.
of the Greeks. That's what it's talking about. That's talking about Israelite that want to assimilate. That's what that's talking about. Read.
Verse 16, by reason whereof sore calamity came upon them, for they had them to be their enemies and avengers, whose custom they followed so earnestly, and unto whom they desired to be like in all
You
things.
see that thing? Isn't that we have the same thing today? Same thing today. Those are what called what is that? Hellenists speaking Greek speaking Jews. That's what they were. Greek speaking Jews. Verse 2. Chapter 6, verse 2.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
Then the 12.
Last week we cover the qualification of a widow. The scriptures talk about the sister that's 60 and older. That's what qualification as a widow. And for the congregation taking care of her, she have to do the work. She have to have good work. She have to have good work. So, yes, love, strange, taking care of the saints. A younger sister that's in her 20s and her 30s, she still can be married, so she don't count as a widow. She still can be married. The scripture talk about that. Paul talk about that. Chapter 6, verse 2.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 2. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them, and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables.
So now, remember what chapter verse 1 said? It was a complaint. They were complaining that they neglected the widows, the daily administration, and in other words, they're neglecting the older sisters that have no husband. So that was the complaint. So in verse 2, the 12 apostles come together and said, listen, they call a meeting. That's why they say they call the multitude. The 12 called the multitude because the 12 were the leaders. They called the multitude. They say, listen, it is not fair for us to stop pushing the truth and go and taking care of, in other words, do different office. So, verse 3.
Verse 3, wherefore, brethren, look ye out among you 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business.
So the apostles said, pick 7 men. We're going to pick 7 men, men of wisdom. It's very important I said that. I'm going to say that again. Men of wisdom. What does that mean? Men that know the law, men that know the scriptures, men that study. You cannot put no dummies over no office because they're going to destroy it. I always give an example about 2 black men who want to start a company. The dummy, one of them is the dummy. He's the one who want to be the CEO. But the guy who got a master's degree in business, he said, no. Why can't I be the CEO? The guy said, because you don't know nothing. You don't even finish high school. But the dummy, what you think gonna happen when he becomes CEO? He's gonna destroy it. And by the way, it's only black people who think like that. We don't want to think like that. You cannot put a man that don't know nothing over an office. He's gonna destroy it. It's the same thing we do now. Iuic, brothers. So when a captain puts you over this office, because we got different office. And by the way, whatever office you're in, that's part of your work. That's count as part of your work. Because I know some of you thinking, I'm wasting my time. Some of you is grievous to you. But this Paul talk about there's a reward for it. Paul talk about that. The Bible cover everything. So the apostles said to the people, say, listen, our job is to push the truth. We're going to pick up 7 men that know the Bible. We're going to put them over these offices. Verse 4. You in verse 4?
Yes, sir.
Verse 4.
But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word.
You hear this? He said, but we will give ourselves continually. You know why this is important? Every single one of you here is not going to be a teacher. I'm going to repeat that again. Every single brother is not going to be a teacher. You know how do you know that? What scripture can you use to show you there's different office, there's different what scripture? There is different office. Everybody's not going to be a teacher. Give me a scripture. I want to see who's thinking. What? You said some officers over there got it? I don't want to ask no officers.
No soldier. Oh, one soldier.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Shalom leadership, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 5. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. So there are different offices appointed for all of us.
You hear that? This is a body. Who is the body? Christ is the body. We all play different part of the body. I think we go over that already. In a body, you have a head, you have nose, you have eyes, you have ears, you have hand, you have legs. Everybody is not the eyes. Everybody is not the ear. Each of us play a part in the body of Christ. That's why every single one of us, we all gonna play our part. Just brother, play your part. That's all we ask. If you're the ear, do not try to be the eyes. Now you stepping in your shoes that's not yours. You stepping in somebody's toes. Stay wherever you are. There's a reward for it. Because I know everybody think, oh, I'm a teacher. No, all of you are not teachers. Some of you are horrible teachers. I'm just being straight. Some of you teaching, everybody's like, that's telling you right there, that's not your call. That's not your office. I always use my brother. We lost him a couple of years ago. Bo Akbar. Faithful brother. Listen, I ain't gonna lie. That's the first time I met a brother in Israel that's never complained. He take joy in his office. Bo Akbar. Man. Never late. Never late for nothing. That's a different spirit. He take joy in his office. He know his office, most I got them call him to be a teacher. And guess what? He was happy with that. He was happy with that. Whatever office he was doing, listen, he was the best at it. He made sure he was the best at it. With no complaining. Why do I have to do that? Why do your brothers always want me to do this? Because that's your damn job. Be the best at it. You're not complaining to Esau, but you're complaining to us. You complain to Mosai. Stop. Listen, every single one of us here in this room right now have a job. Well, I hope so. When you go to your job, right? Are you the CEO of that company? No. Are you the manager? Some of you are managers. Not all of you. Listen, you cannot have 50 managers in a single little company. Somebody have to sweep the floor. Somebody have to take the garbage out. Somebody have to do the duty. Somebody have to be on the computer. Somebody have to write the checks. He might not sign it, but the check have to print somewhere, right?
Right.
Somebody have to clean the bathroom. You know what I just described? I just described a body. The company you work for, that's a body. Everybody play part on that company. Everybody play part in the body. Same thing when you come in the body of Christ. We all belong in the body, but not everybody's going to do the same office. Captain Iuic.
Yes. Hey, Deacon, what you said, what Deacon Malachi said is heavy because we've had this conversation, Deacon, about our brother Barak Bar. Deacon said that not everybody's meant to be a teacher. Spoken about this, but you guys are still examples. That street camp, you understand? Teaching in that form, but through your examples, you show your faith. The same thing, Barak. Hey, remember, Deacon, you were saying the water. His office was taking care of the water at headquarters. Yep. Nobody ever had to worry about the water being filled at headquarters because the brother took pride in his office. It was only when you said when he passed, it's like, where's the water? What's going on? Because things, I guess it wasn't sanitized. But everybody has their position in the body, okay? And it's still in what? Christ.
Hey, I'm going to give you a small example of what happened here one time with the brother that moved to Austin. What's his name again? Officer Eliezer. Remember Officer Eliezer? When Officer Eliezer was here, one of his office was, we have a small little fridge down here. He keep that little fridge full. Stop to the wind. So one day I come here, I'm like, yo, the refrigerator is empty. Cap said, oh crap, Eliezer is no longer here. We forgot to replace them. So when we never complain about this little fridge. Eliezer keep this thing full. Full. Guess what? I didn't miss Eliezer until I went. And I look in that little fridge. I'm like, oh, damn. Where's Eliezer? We know. That's why I'm like, what that told me that brother right there, he was on top of his office. So me and Captain was like, damn, we forgot to replace Officer Eliezer. Guess what? Eliezer never leave. He was actually still here because he left his mark. He's like, listen, I take part of my little office. That's the little thing you guys want me to do? Okay, I'm going to do it to the fullest. And we missed him by, now we look and be like, damn, this brother is missed. I never have no problem. Where's my little bottle of water? Eliezer always there. He was on it. So that's a brother who know, listen, I'm part of this body. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this kingdom. Verse, go ahead.
And you know what? Those offices, that office was appointed to him.
Yeah.
A lot of times brothers don't want the office they're appointed. They want the office that better suits them or is more convenient for them. Sometimes when those offices are given to you because there's something seen in the spirit, this brother will excel in his office. Because a lot of times leadership see things in you that you don't see in yourselves. You don't see in yourselves. We're at a place where we're of low self-esteem. We hate ourselves, things of that nature. So when something is given to you out of seeing something in you, that's something to be prideful in. You're something you're supposed to take with honor. Like, man, like a lot of times let's say you have a brother, a soldier officer you always go to for something. Like, listen, I need you to get this done, get that done. The soldier officer may see it as, damn, why Cap always asking me? Or why is Deacon always asking me? It's because we may see something in you that you get tasks completed and we don't have to micromanage you is actually a good thing. You're reliable, but some of you may see it as nagging or grievous. Nah, you shouldn't see it that way. If deacon, captains, bishop can always come to you, it's because there's a level of reliability there. And that's something you should take honor in. If we give you 2-3 offices and you knocking all 3 out, no problem. That's something to be joyful and to be prideful about.
Hey, Cap, I also want to say we got good brothers and good sisters in IUIC that we really, really can depend on. They never complain. They always listen. They're on top of their thing. Hey, verse 5. You in verse 5?
Yes, sir.
Yes, read verse 5.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 5. And the saying pleased the whole multitude.
Wait. Read verse 4.
Acts chapter 6 and verse 4. But we will give ourselves continually to prayer and to the ministry of the word.
So they free themselves from doing the other work. So their job is to just push the truth. Verse 5.
And the saying pleased the whole multitude.
So everybody happy about what they hear. Read.
And they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and of the Holy Ghost.
A man full of faith of the Holy Ghost. This is the same Stephen they're going to kill later on. Read.
And Philip, and Prochorus, and Nicanor, and Timon, and Parmenius, and Nicholas, a proselyte of Antioch.
So they pick those 7 men to be over these offices, while the apostles is occupied in pushing the truth. Verse 6.
Verse 6, whom they set before the apostles, and when they had prayed, they laid their hands on them.
So wait a minute. So they bring these men in front of the apostles. The apostles did what?
Prayed, and when they prayed, laid their hands on them. And the word of God increased, and the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem greatly.
Wow. So not only these men wasn't stupid 7 men they pick, the apostles pray for them. The apostles pray for them that Most High God may increase the work under them. And he said the work increase greatly. The work increase. So what that saying is those 7 was in the same mind, same spirit with these 12 apostles. That's why the word increase. They were in the same mind. There was not no complainers. Read.
And a great company of the priests were obedient to the faith. Verse 8. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people.
So Stephen was a mighty brother. So right here, Stephen, which is later on going to get killed, he was one of the mightiest brothers that they pick over these offices. They say Stephen do a lot of mighty work and miracles. So Stephen does the same miracles the apostles was doing. Read.
Verse 9. Then there arose certain of the synagogue which is called the synagogue of Libertines, and the Cyrenians, and Alexandrians, and of them of Sicilia and Asia, disputing with Stephen.
So, verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Then there arose certain of the synagogue.
There were certain brothers, certain sisters of the synagogue,
Which is called the synagogue of Libertines.
Now, hold on. Go in who's who.
All right. We're back in the who's who in the Bible. We're going to look up libertines.
Wait a minute.
I don't think it's there. Yeah, it's not in there.
Libertine, that's Jews from Rome. But read it say of the liberties and
Cyrenians.
Cyrenian.
Let me see if I can find that.
Cyrenian is an old city in ancient Greek. That's all right. Then he said, and Alexandria, that's the brothers and sisters from Alexandria, right?
Yeah, Cyrenians is actually here in the book.
Okay, what did he say?
Cyrenians, Greek, it means war, W-A-L-L. Traditionally, there were 480 synagogues in Jerusalem. These were the meeting places for prayer and discussion, particularly about the law of many different peoples of Jewish faith. At the time of Stephen's martyrdom, it was the natives of Alexandria and Cyrene in Africa, and of the Roman provinces of Asia and Cilicia, the home of Saul, the persecutor, who was to become Paul the Apostle, who took the initiative in Stephen's arrest.
So those Jews from these places, they were actually the one who put Stephen to death. That's what he's saying. They were actually the one who was arguing with Stephen.
It was the members of these synagogues who took most offense at Stephen's teachings.
You hear that thing? It was brothers and sisters from, and they were Israelite. Those were Israelite. They were offended by what the apostles and Stephen was teaching. Read.
But could not successfully dispute with his wisdom and enthusiasm.
So they could not successfully dispute with Stephen's wisdom. That's heavy stuff. You know what's so heavy about this? That's what I told you guys. Just Deuteronomy 28 alone, you can destroy the whole congregation of Creflo with that. Just Deuteronomy 28 alone. You can make every single 20,000 people from, how many people Creflo got? 20,000?
Something like that. Gotta be
20,000? You can make them change just with Deuteronomy 28 alone. They cannot dispute against you. That's what he's saying. They cannot dispute against Stephen. They don't have no wisdom to dispute against Stephen.
You got it? Watch this. In consequence, they instigated the crowd to accuse him of talking blasphemy against Moses and God. For the Jews, the ultimate wickedness. The mob dragged Stephen off to the council and accused him of speaking both against the temple and against the law. Members of the synagogue of the Cyrenians were foremost among those who secured Stephen's condemnation and stoning.
So that's how they stone him.
Yes, sir.
They're going to bring false accusation against him, saying he speak against the law of Moses. Later on, we're going to read about that. Go ahead. Hold on.
And verse 11, it says, then they suborned men. Suborn means bribe. So they bribed men to lie on Stephen. Don't think they ain't doing that today. They did. Didn't they do that with Marcus Garvey?
Yeah, that's today.
And yeah. So
Yeah.
they get bribed all the time.
Don't they bribe Weasel Leo to say we a head coach?
Yeah.
BBC bribe Weasel Leo to say we a head coach.
They bribed that Edomite.
Oh yeah, they bribe him.
Also got libertines in the Bible dictionary, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It says, captive Jews brought to Rome by Pompey in 63 BC, liberated subsequently, and repatriated to Palestine, where presumably they built a synagogue, still occupied by their descendants a century after Pompey's Palestinian campaign, Acts 6 and 9. These people would be Roman citizens.
Hear that? But they were Israelite. They were Israelite. I don't want you guys to miss the thought. They were Israelite. Just like today. You're an Israelite, but you're a citizen of the United States. It's the same thing. That don't make you the other nations. You're just a citizen of the United States. Just like Captain Amaziah is a citizen of England.
I'm a citizen of Mystery Babylon the Great. Stop playing games, D. Dual citizenship.
Officer, you're in verse 11?
Verse 9.
Oh, you said, okay. You're in verse 9. We was talking about, you say, and of them of Sicilia, that's Sicilia, that's the southern part of Turkey and Asia. Where am I? Asia, and disputing with Stephen. So Israelites from these places were disputing with Stephen. In other words, they were arguing about the teaching, about the words, right? Verse 10.
Verse 10. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake.
So they was not able to withstood the wisdom. Stephen was too heavy from them. Right? Verse 11.
Then they suborned men.
They bribed men. They pay men.
Which said, we have heard him speak blasphemous.
To accuse him of blasphemy.
Blasphemous words against Moses and against God.
Against Moses and against God. Now, remember, it's talking about the law. Now, the law is Leviticus 24, 10 to 14. Let's read that right quick. That's what they accuse Stephen of. Leviticus 24, verse 10 to 14. Go there right quick.
Leviticus chapter 24 and verse 10. And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strove together in the camp. Verse 11. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith.
So there was a fight going on. These young men blaspheming the law. Now, what is the punishment for blaspheming the law? Read. They bring him in front of the judge, in front of Moses. What happened?
And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Debri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, that the mind of the Lord might be shewed them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, bring forth him that cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him.
You hear that thing? That was the punishment for cursing, for blasphemy against the law. That was the punishment. Moses said, put him to death. Now, the God that said that, oh, guess what? He's still around. Your grandmother think the God that said that, he's no longer around. He been replaced by white Jesus. No. That God, he's still here today. That's why when you read in the book of Malachi, he said, God don't change. God, the same God yesterday, today, and forever. He do not change. And guess what? That law is coming back again in the kingdom. That law is coming back again. Because some of you thinking, oh, this God right there, nah, this guy right here don't kill. Because I hear Christians say, God don't kill. The devil kill. That's what the Christian said. God don't kill. Read. You finished? You finished that?
We was done with Leviticus. You want me to go back to?
No. You read verse 14, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go back. No, I just wanted him to show them the law. the law they accuse Stephen of, the crime they accuse Stephen of. That's what they accuse him of. They pay men to bring forth witnesses to accuse him of this crime. You in verse 12.
Verse 12. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes and came upon him.
Wait. They did what?
And they stirred up the people.
What's that remind you of? They stir up the people. Sound like 2 years ago. They stir up the people to do what? Read.
And the elders and the scribes and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council.
Read the whole thing again.
Verse 12. And they stirred up the people.
They stir up the people.
And the elders.
And the elders what? They are the camps.
And the scribes.
And the scribe, they are the camps.
And came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council.
Isn't that what they did? Their mindset was not to help brothers and sisters stand the truth. That was not the mindset. Their mindset was for you to leave and you become nothing, destroy you. How do you know? Because today they ain't doing nothing. Those same brothers and sisters that stopped the people a year ago, they ain't doing nothing today. Do they in social media wanting them up? They ain't doing nothing. They don't, you never see them in the street teaching. They just want this truth to stop. They just want you to stop being an Israelite. Go back in the world. Now, what happened? They start changing the doctrine.
You know what, Deke? The proof of that is one of them is out there shaking they behind half naked now, right?
Yeah.
None of those other brothers and sisters that left with her said anything. They not saying nothing to her, trying to correct her. Oh, my sister's going off. None of that. She's out and she's a video vixen.
Now she's a video vixen.
She's a video vixen smacking other girls on her behind. None of them say nothing.
Some of them don't have no idea what she's talking about. He's talking about Blue Waffle. That's what she's doing now.
It's
Some brothers was defending Blue
Oh,
Waffle
yeah.
when we
Some
brought
of
it
them-
out.
Yeah. She's 100% fully back in the world. And proud of it too. She boasts about it. Listen, Christ said, what's that scripture Christ said? Seven demons
Yes.
come back worse than the first, and now you become worse than you was before. Listen, if this Bible is not a true book, I don't know what is.
Hey, Deke, you know what? And I wanted to just touch on something that in these two verses here, 12 and 13, scribes, Pharisees, elders, they all stirred up the people. So we all know the scribes and Pharisees did not believe the same thing. Just like you mentioned, those other camps right now. But the only thing they agree upon is to join to take down the true anointed of the Lord.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
That's what they agree on. They agree to take down the true anointed of the Lord. That's the only thing. So the doctrines can be different. The understanding can be different. They could have had issues all throughout their time in the truth. But one thing they must do, we got to all join together to take down IUIC. Because they were joined together right after they tried to take us down. One of them started saying, hey, that dude is not even Israel. So wait a minute. So you joined with him to take down IUIC, but you didn't even believe he was Israel? That's showing there's no new thing under the sun. What we're reading about right here happened right here in IUIC. They don't even believe the same thing, but their plan was to take down the anointed of God. But as we just read in chapter 5, nothing that is of God can be taken down.
Hey, what they said even in the world, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they come together and they joined themselves under different doctrines to stand against the only people that they learned from.
You know, I was looking at that sister that's left. She said, F being humble. That's what Blue Waffle said. You know, America, Babylon offer a lot. Babylon offer a lot, more than you can handle. When you look at the kingdoms before America, they all offer a lot. What I'm getting at is that Satan know something a lot of us don't. Satan know his time is short. And Satan is going to take down as much Israelite with him as he can. He will. Listen, he know. So, this place called America, listen, this is a great kingdom. It's a fact. This is a great kingdom. A lot of you know how you know this is a great kingdom, Cap? A lot of you will not leave this place to move anywhere else. Even if they pay you for it, you're not going to do it. That's how much you love this place. You and people said, I'm accustomed to certain things. I'm accustomed to Burger King. I'm accustomed to McDonald's. People say, there is no Burger King in Haiti. I'm not going there.
To water pressure and
I'm
hot
accustomed
water,
to water
hot
pressure.
showers.
I'm accustomed to take a hot bath. I'm accustomed to the internet. AC. I'm not going there, Deacon. If the kingdom going to take place in Africa, I might miss the Deacon because I'm not going there.
Hey, that's why some brothers only travel on the quest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Cap, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you. Bishop always said, you're not here to be a professional student. We all read the Apostle Paul. Paul never stayed in one spot. That is why Paul never have no wife, no kids. Paul never stayed in one spot. All of us here said, I want to be like the Apostle Paul. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You don't want to be Paul. Trust me, you ain't. You're not ready to be Paul. You are accustomed. Because you know what you get out of your think? You think Rome was not a great kingdom. Oh, hell yeah, Rome was a great kingdom. Rome was a great kingdom. Oh, yeah. Rome was a great kingdom. Just like America is a great kingdom. The Persian and the Medes were a great kingdom. Asia was a great kingdom. Babylon was a great kingdom. All this stuff, today, some of you, listen, even if the brother say, hey, I want to move this place, I want to help. The wife's like, nope, I'm not going there. All right, baby. All right. We stay. For those of you who travel to different parts outside of America, listen, it's a whole different ball game. It teaches you actually how to humble. It's actually do. It teaches you how to humble. Ex-officer Iuic behind you, right there. He will tell you. He will tell you.
So when we went to Sierra Leone,
Hey, hold on. You guys don't know how it feels to have a stomach ache and you running up and down. Actually,
Yuri, come tell us, Yuri, tell us.
Hey,
Pass the mic back to Yuri.
porta potties don't exist.
Yep.
Running water in the bathroom that you do find don't exist.
Don't exist.
Soap and water. Don't let your finger go through any tissue you have. It's an all-day thing.
Hey. Cap. You run in the back to the toilet. You found out there's not a toilet. There's a hole in the ground.
It's a hole. I'm trying to tell y'all.
And you run back to me talking about, Deacon, you know there's no toilet. There's a hole in the ground. I'm like, okay, what is your point? You got to go or not? What is your point? You got to go or not?
Hey, just wear some good socks, because it might not be toilet paper either. Huh?
You will make a bed leaves around the hole. Then he go, hey, Deacon, you got any tissue in your bag? I say, yeah, why? Let me have them.
And look, and around that hole, it might be flies and.
They think we're joking.
Come on, man.
You guys think we're joking.
Hey,
Those are things that make you really humble quick.
and that's for y'all that think we go on vacation.
Yeah.
Nobody pay to go doodle in a hole with flies landing on your eyes and you ain't bring no toilet paper with you. You ain't paid for that. You understand? That just comes with as a prophet of God.
So you guys laughing. What do you think Paul have to? If we have to go, you think what? During Paul time there was no holes in the ground. Oh, okay. Okay.
Hey, D, what is the brother? There was a brother. We was in Haiti. We was on a bus.
Oh yeah, Job. Brother
Job. And he had to run off the bus.
Job said, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!
Stop the bus. Going to the plains and got the
he won off the bus and going to the bushes.
he got the smooth stone, right? To wipe us over the smooth stone.
The hell is this?
A stone. That's that third world living right there.
Yeah. See, you don't know what it means until you go to these places, man. You ask yourself, if I have a problem to do it one day, what about the people who's living this life every single day? How do they survive? There is a God. There is a God. This make you humble quick, though. I tell you that.
Because in Nigeria, and we talked about it on the radio, there is a thick cloud over Lagos. And for days, we just thought it was a cloudy day. No, you're breathing in fumes from the burning oil fields. So we came back, had breathing issues and stuff. So you got to think about our people that live there, that breathe that in every day of their lives. It looks like smog, but it's not smog. They're burning because Nigeria has a large oil deposit. They burn each other's oil fields in wars and stuff. So it's constantly burning. So that's the smoke from burning oil, and you breathe it in all day, every day.
Hey, how long did it take for y'all to clear that out your system, Cap?
Cap, I told you when you come back, I said I'm not going there.
Yeah.
When you said it, I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
I'll go to the other African place.
Matter of fact, we were there over a week. I remember seeing the sun one time.
Damn.
That's how thick it is. And I forgot what part we went to, and I actually saw the sun through the clouds. It's thick, man. It's thick.
Hey, D. You know how it says, and that just came to mind. I don't want to take away from your class, but when you look at that, it says in Acts 15 and 25, it said, "It seemed good unto us, being assembled with one accord, to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul."
Where you at?
Acts 15 and verse 25.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, assembled with one accord to send chosen men unto you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men that have hazarded their lives for the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Say hazard their lives. Let me tell you something, right? When you go to these places, I'm going to use Africa. Because I remember we went to this army base in Africa, in Sierra Leone. We was talking. Bishop said, hey, son, majority of these guys, I guarantee you, they're Muslim. Be very careful what you say about Muhammad. You might not come out. Those are things that you got to think about. Seriously. Those are things you got to think about. Be like, okay, what I'm going to say here. Because you in a, how do they call it, no man land? You're in a strange land. You don't know anything. Captain Iuic, every time this brother travel, he get jacked up. But for some reason, he always come back. Captain Iuic always get jacked up. Like, yo, you get jacked up every time. Why you always come back? He go, okay. Love me. I gotta do the work. You in what verse you in?
Verse 12. No, verse 13.
Ultimate sacrifice for the love of Christ. All praise. You say 13?
Yes, sir.
And they set up false witnesses. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And set up false witnesses, which said, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy place and the law.
The law. So they said that he was speaking blasphemy against this holy place. They're talking about the synagogue and this holy and against the law. Read.
Verse 14, for we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered us. And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel.
Read that again.
And all that sat in the council, looking steadfastly on him, saw his face as it had been the face of an angel.
So he got the wisdom on him. Chapter 7, verse 1. What time it is? You know what? I'm gonna start chapter 7 next week. Because it's already 5:25. Brothers and sisters, we're gonna start chapter 7 next week, Lord willing. Chapter 7, it's a very heavy chapter. And chapter 7 is very, very heavy. We're going to spend some time in chapter 7 because chapter 7 got a lot of precepts. It's a very, very heavy chapter. We're going to start that next week, Lord willing. Yes. You hear what Captain said. Chapter 7 is the result of chapter 6. So we're going to start chapter 7 next Sabbath, Lord willing. Brothers and sisters online, thank you for being with us. We're going to start Act chapter 7 next week. Bishop is coming in 30 minutes. Get up, stretch your legs, eat something, get ready, because Bishop got some body today. Oh, he got some. Hey, Bishop class is not for the beginners. I'm just telling you right now. It's not for the weak. It's not for the beginners. Some of you is going to get confused as hell, but it's okay. Wait in your ministry. You'll be all right. But I know he's coming down with some heavy stuff today. So come back, 30 minutes. Israel online. With that, we say shalom.